Ever wondered whether couples break up more at certain times of the year than others? Or whether you're more likely to break up after you've been together, say, for a year or so? Well, it turns out there are three research-backed danger zones in relationships. And these are times when your relationship is at the greatest risk of falling apart. Don't go into these danger zones feeling complacent about your relationship. Find out what they are now so that you can be prepared. Stay tuned to discover what they are. Every relationship has its ups and downs. And when things are fine, you think you're going to be together forever. But when the brown stuff hits the fan, you wonder whatever possessed you to think that you were ever compatible. Well, researchers have mapped out the stress points in relationships, times when relationships are particularly vulnerable to stressors that fracture your connection. It's something we all should know. When are our relationships most at risk? Now, some believe the time of year has something to do with it. The data suggests that breakups are more likely during certain times of the year than others, particularly just after Valentine's Day and just before Christmas. Now, another study claims that the Tuesday before Valentine's Day, nicknamed Red Tuesday, is prime dumping ground for many couples. The vagaries of holidays and seasons aside, few of us consciously break up because summer's coming or we don't want to splash out on a Christmas present. We break up because things aren't working. Now, every single couple, if they stay together long enough, will experience the end of the honeymoon period and the beginning of conflict in a stage known as the power struggle. Immature couples may believe that the decline of rose-tinted romance and the increase in arguments means that their relationship has reached its natural end. But if you think things have to be fantastic all the time, your relationships will crash and burn more often than a racing car. Being newly in love provides a chemical hit to the brain that's not unlike the hit experienced by drug addicts. Romance addicts who seek thrill after thrill of new love are especially unlikely to stick once those happy chemicals decline. But not all couples break up after their first fight. They see arguments as opportunities to build negotiation skills and respect different points of view. They remain committed to working through their issues and building a life together. Despite their convictions, it's not smooth sailing ahead. Danger zones lurk, including the birth of their first child, their 4-year anniversary, and retirement. Danger zone number 1, the birth of the first child. Now, most of us assume that having a child together cements our bond. We marry and we immediately set about starting a family. But having a child places an enormous amount of stress on a fledgling marriage. Many couples report feeling less happy after the birth of their first child, no doubt because of the sleepless nights, the endless demands, and the social isolation. Now, if the marriage remains strong, the second child tends to be easier because couples know what to expect and they have a system in place. Danger zone number 2, the 4-year mark. Now, the next weak point in a relationship is at the 4-year mark. Dr. Helen Fisher of Rutgers University suggests that we are conditioned to experience a 4-year itch in our relationships. She argues that our ancestors typically remained with a partner long enough to raise a child to toddlerdom, and then they split to seek fresh genes. Now, certainly boredom strikes at a certain point in all relationships. Maybe we can't put up with something we once thought we could live with. People change, and what they want out of life changes. But the average first marriage lasts 8 years, indicating that couples do try their best to make it work. They don't just get itchy feet and give each other their walking papers. Instead, they seek relationship advice, they spice things up, they go on date nights, or try counseling as a last-ditch effort to find that common ground. Danger zone number 3, retirement. Now, when you look at a couple who's been together 20, 30 years. You assume that nothing can separate them now. I mean, look at how long they've been together. That kind of commitment is admirable. We need more marriages like that. Except they're not out of the woods yet. Even then, after all a couple has been through, after the children and the mortgage and the illnesses and the crises, they have one more hurdle to face: retirement. Divorce for the over 50s is on the rise, and retirement plays a part. Couples who've been used to a certain routine all their lives are suddenly thrown together 24/7 without a job to go to for social support or professional satisfaction. A man who's been used to managing an office may try to manage his wife in his home. A wife who's been used to doing her own thing now finds she has to entertain her husband. It becomes apparent just how much work contributed to a sense of purpose and feeling valued. Now, luckily, there are plenty of guides out there for the post-retirement couple with tips to help ease that transition. In fact, there is information available for couples every step of the way. If a couple is truly committed to sticking it out, they don't have to settle for what they've got. They can actively address their weak points and work on building their connection. And in the process, they may find the deeper feelings they develop for each other blows that earlier romantic intoxication out of the water. The Road Less Traveled author, M. Scott Peck, didn't even want to dignify that falling in love feeling with an association to love. Instead, he called it limerence, arguing that what you feel when you fall for someone isn't love at all. What long-term couples have, which new couples don't, is a commitment to each other's personal growth, a commitment to conscious behavior, and a commitment to doing the work of loving. And when you know that love is hard work, you're much more likely to ride out those danger zones. You don't expect to be happy all the time. Most of the time is good enough for you. So don't start worrying once your first child is born or once you've been together for 4 years. Instead, just love smarter. Commit to doing the work that relationships require. See conflict as a necessary stage in growth rather than proof you're incompatible. Stay focused on constructive actions rather than destructive criticism. And make sure you always do something impressive for Valentine's Day. Just in case. So there you have it. The 3 danger zones in relationships are after the birth of your first child, at the 4-year mark, and at retirement. More breakups may also happen around holidays like Christmas and Valentine's Day. Thank you so much for watching, and please leave a comment to let me know whether this rings true for you. Have you ever been left or left someone around the holidays? Have you noticed any patterns in your friends' breakups? Let me know how you like this video by leaving it a thumbs up, and click on the box in the bottom right-hand corner to subscribe to our channel for more great videos about how you can live your most brilliant life. I'd like to invite you over to yourbrilliance.com, where you can find tons of articles on relationships, as well as beauty, health, career, you name it. We'd love to see you there.